Can we always separate the art from the artist? Or what I should be really asking is, should we always separate the art from the artist? So a couple days ago, I made a video talking about why I don't particularly like King Von on my TikTok, because I was doing some rap filter stuff on there, and every time King Von popped up, I was like, ew, no. And people were confused by that, and I had to explain to them, I don't think I want to listen to somebody that actually committed murders and he talks about murdering people. And it kind of led me to this today. So I kind of want to make a quick, just little thought-provoking video about some people. Nah, there's no separating the art from the artist. I think there are a lot of strong cases where I wouldn't necessarily be mad at you if you landed on that moral decision of, I can't listen to that person. Young Thug, Drake, Future, Lil Durk, all the way at the top of that list will be Chris Brown, where I'm not necessarily going to be mad at you, I just personally wouldn't agree. But again, this is all just a subjective thing on what you value as not problematic to problematic. But I do think that there are some exceptions to that rule where it is clear as day, no, it is no longer about that person is toes the line or nah. So today I'm gonna be talking about 3 people, and the first one I want to mention is Kanye West. A couple months ago, I made a video talking about how we need to stop enabling Kanye West, and I feel like for the most part, the public has stopped enabling Kanye West. Like every time he just does something outlandish, it gets like some sort of traction every now and again, but for the most part, nobody really cares. And I feel as though that at this point, it has now become a situation where I can no longer separate the art from the artist. Now, why would I say that? Because I feel as though that his anti-Semitic rhetoric, all his weird, fatphobic, homophobic, prawn addiction, just all types of incel weirdo stuff that goes on with Kanye West, like he's the embodiment of that now, has seeped its way into the music where his raps are literal rants about all of that stuff. And that doesn't make for an enjoyable listen. It also doesn't help that he's completely fallen off as a rapper. And I'm not saying that Kanye West was ever the greatest rapper, but it is clear that he has taken a complete nosedive. The production is still somewhat there. And so he is one of my top cases of, at this point, I can no longer separate the art from the artist in terms of new Kanye. Everything from Donda and before that, I'm comfortably listening to that music. Even though there's some of that stuff in there, it was little hints and, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like what it is now. But the next person I want to talk about is Diddy. Look, I am on camera saying that I loved his Love album. And I didn't know whether his allegations were facts, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always been rumblings of Diddy's behind a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of freak nasty stuff, but it was always rumblings, especially in the black community. Nobody had a clear, concrete answer. And now it's looking like all of that stuff is finally coming to the forefront. And specifically that Love album is like, I cannot listen to that because it was like an encapsulation of everything wrong with Diddy. Whether it's a song about him trying to get Cassie back or him having a song with Justin Bieber. Like, it is kind of gross in hindsight. And a lot of his antics are just kind of gross. And I'm gonna be honest, even his sexual songs is like, I'm just gonna think about you essaying and, you know, sex trafficking and doing all these weird things with people. It's just like, I can no longer do it no more. And speaking of essay, gets me to my final guy. He is somehow still the most controversial person when it comes to this topic, and I just don't understand how. And that's R.Kelly. R.Kelly has had the most polarizing, I guess, viewpoint in terms of how you look at him for over 25 years. Like the fact that that Boondocks episode, which by the way was like their second or third episode ever, has still ran true to this day, where it don't matter, his music slap. And it's like, how can you sing those super provocative sexual songs and not be like, oh, he was making those while looking at a half-naked 15-year-old. Oh, he was making those songs with the idea that he wanted to perform those acts on a 15-year-old. This guy was literally on camera saying, like, are we serious? And that's where I feel as though, okay, the line in the sand has to be drawn. Like, when the music and the person in real life start to legitimately overlap and they are chaotically problematic, like on a nuclear level, like universal level, then we have to just cut in and say, all right, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because me personally, I love Step in the Name of Love. Honestly, I think R.Kelly's a top 5 R&B act of all time. But when I really think about his music and what he's saying, can't help but think that he wanted to do that stuff with minors. Like, there's literal video footage that was being bought and passed around of him peeing on a minor. And people were selling the tape. And y'all still want to try to sit up here and convince me that, bro, but the music is good. No! And what's crazy is that there are a lot of people, a lot of people that just don't care. They legitimately don't care. And what's even worse is that most of them are women. And that's why I just feel like, bro, you know what? I personally will look at you a weird way if you listen to any of these artists with the specific guidelines that I kind of mentioned. Like, specifically with Kanye West, if you listen to new Kanye West, I'm looking at you crazy. If you still listening to Diddy in 2025, why? Legitimate reason, why? And if you still listening to Robert PDF File Kelly in the Big 2-5, nah, dog. There has to be some conversations that had to be had. Like, we gotta start judging people. Bring back judging people. I know a lot of y'all are sensitive. Bring back judging people, because I'm looking at y'all crazy. But as far as the people that I named at the beginning of the video, that's where, again, I feel like the situation kind of gets muddy. Like, that's a gray area, like DV. And I'm not saying I support DV, but I think I get the idea of what I'm trying to paint. If the really bad stuff seeps its way into the music, and that shows that you are now this person, I'm gonna be honest with you, champ, I'm checking out. But y'all let me know where y'all kind of stand on this, because I just feel like we gotta start having some real conversations with a lot of y'all out there, because it's weird. It's really weird. But it's been your boy Josh Hero. We out.